Tonight, the Democratic Party, their close allies in the mob and the media are in an utter state of chaos. Poll numbers imploding, Biden struggling in every single way. Many are in a state of despair. Some are predictably smearing their political opponents as racist. Others in Congress are throwing in the towel, retiring en masse. They want out completely. At least one media outlet is calling for the National Guard to round up unvaccinated Americans who dare to leave their homes. We have a lot more on that coming up tonight. Now, as we pointed out last night, almost everyone on all sides of the political spectrum is lashing out at Joe Biden. Even fake news, CNN, and many others in the media mob. Quote, President Joe Biden's 2022 is off to a dreadful start. Prices at the pump could even make it worse. And here's a headline from the New York Times. Biden's overpromised, underdelivered on climate. Now trouble looms in 2022. One panic-stricken journalist at the Washington Post complaining Biden was failing politically and needs to stop spinning his wheels. But according to a report from NBC News, the White House, they're not concerned at all about their failing policies or spiking inflation, rising gas prices, open borders, supply chain crisis, or, of course, the Americans they left behind in Afghanistan that we will never forget. Instead, the administration apparently believes that they have a messaging problem. There's nothing else, just the problem is messaging. And in order to solve the messaging problem, some advisors want Joe Biden to spend more time communicating directly with you, the American people. But, quote, while there is unity among advisors about having Biden talk to more people directly, another official said there is no agreement about whether that effort will work. In other words, even the White House, they know what we've been telling you, even in the early days of the election, that Joe Biden is incapable of communicating well, dazed, confused, confounded, mumbling, bumbling, stumbling, a complete cognitive mess. This won't work well for any of them. In fact, at this stage in life, he's really not able to do much of anything well at all. Today, for example, after a long three-day weekend in Delaware, where he spent literally a quarter of his presidency so far, Joe Biden was nowhere to be found. After no public events, the White House called the lid at 1 p.m. Over the past 4 days, Biden has been almost entirely MIA. Instead of performing the many rigorous duties that presidents perform, Joe has been holed up in an office somewhere, prepping, studying for tomorrow's big press conference. Now, think about that. We have a president who is so mentally incompetent that he has to spend 4 long days prepping for what would be for anybody else a routine press conference, and they're trying to hide it by running it at 4 p.m. Eastern. And that would be 1 p.m. on the West Coast, right in the middle of the In-N-Out burger rush that takes place out there. So make no mistake, Joe Biden is not competent to serve, and that is clear and obvious and transparent to everyone. Take a look at this uncomfortable moment with far-left Senator Elizabeth Warren in a CBS News interview from earlier today. Take a look.
Okay, let me ask you about 2024. Do you believe that President Biden is up for the job?
President Biden's running for re-election. I expect to support him.
His approval ratings are some of the lowest that they've been for a very long time.
I understand that, but remember, we've just finished the first quarter. We're just starting into the second quarter here. So we've got a lot of time, a lot of work in front of us.
Oh, but you only have probably less than a year before you lose both the Senate and the House. All the polls, polls are very bad, right? I mean, the Gallup had a poll recently that showed a preference nationally for Republicans at a 5-point margin over Democrats.
Did you notice what I noticed? They used his best poll, not the Quinnipiac poll that had him at a 33% approval rating. Also keep in mind that Biden and his fellow Democrats were polling significantly higher when Republicans swept the 3 highest state offices in the Commonwealth of Virginia, took back control of the House of Delegates. At the time, Virginia Republicans ran on getting politics out of the classroom, empowering parents, restoring law and order. And now the newly sworn-in Attorney General, Jason Miyares, is now keeping his promise with an investigation into the Virginia Parole Board, another investigation into the woke Loudoun County School Board, and by immediately purging staffers not aligned with his agenda. Good move.